Hello everyone. I hope you had a great holiday. Whatever you were celebrating and doing, I hope that you had so much fun and that you're back into the grind. If this is your first time joining me here live on the page, welcome. My name is Ed Troxel, known as Tech Guy. Actually, Tech Man. See, I messed that up, but that's all right. And today, it's not technically Ed Talk TV, so those who know me, I do Ed Talk TV. It's a weekly TV show here on the page. Today, though, I just wanted to pop on and share with you some website talk, some real talk about websites, because this is something that happens all the time, and I should say website issues happen all the time for everyone, but what I want to talk about is some of the stuff going on. So we'll get into that in a second. First, I should just let you know that anytime you are working with someone, whether you're the business owner or you're the client, communication is key. That's like number one across the board, no matter what you're doing. Communication is key. So the whole point of this live is just to kind of jump in and have a full-on discussion, right? I'm always talking about conversations worth having. And this episode, I should say, is not going to have any specific format for today's topic. We're just going to talk and have that open discussion. As you can see, my friend got me this mug not too long ago, #AskEd. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, websites. How many of you, even if you're watching the replay, because I know a lot of you are going to be watching the replay, how many of you have a website right now? Pop into the comments, let me know, even if you're watching the replay. While you're doing that, I want to know how many of you don't have a website. Yeah, you guys are doing that, I know. But don't be afraid. It's okay. Just let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, whether or not you have a website. Because it's important that we talk about this and that we know what's going on with our business. Because if you have a business, you need a website. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, do you have to have a fancy, full-on, gorgeous-looking website right out of the gate? No. Do you need to have a website, even if it's one page, that says who you are, what you do, and how to get in contact with you? Yes. That is the important thing about being a business owner and being online, right? My job is to make online business easy for you, the business owner, or for some of you, the soon-to-be business owner. And so I want you to make sure that you are making the time and the effort, and yes, paying somebody, and we'll get into that in a minute, to get you something online. Because if you are a business owner, you need a website, not just a Facebook business page, not just an Instagram account that's perfectly aesthetically pleasing and everything. Those are great to have as additions, but you have to have a website. Let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, whether or not you have a website. I'm going to make sure that my comments are coming through because it's been a while since I have used Facebook Live because we've been on holiday. So let me go ahead and turn this down here. Perfect. Okay, so first things first, if you're a business, you need to have a website. And again, that could be one page with just who you are, what you do, and how to get in contact with you. You don't even have to have online booking. Like, that's fine. We can get you that later. What you need right now is just something simple that gives the person coming to your website details. Of course, there's so many things that you can add, email, opt-in, all these other features and stuff. Bare basics. Just go to the bare basics. Who you are, what you do, how do I get in contact with you? That's all you need to get started. And then you can always improve it later. Remember, a website is always a work in progress. It's never going to be perfect, and it's never going to be done. You're always going to make little adjustments here and there. But what our goal is, especially because it's the new year, and because this is a busy time for many businesses, if not all, is getting you a website. Now, yes, I am going to say that that is a service that I offer. This whole live is not meant to sell my services. It's meant to have a conversation around it. And I will share with you where you can go to learn more about helping yourself, just to information around WordPress and websites. But then also if you're wanting to work with me, there'll be a website I'll send you to here in just a minute. But let me adjust my lighting because the sun's coming back. There we go. But the purpose of this live is not to just sell myself. It's to have that conversation and remind you of needing a website, what things to kind of look for, what things to pay attention to, all of that. So I just want to be open and honest with you guys, being transparent, letting you know about that. Now, website. We covered that you need to have something. Something is better than nothing. Now, when you go looking for a website, and I guess I should start with the reason why I even started my business in the first place and why I actually do websites. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not a coder. I don't pretend to be a coder. If you don't know what that means, most web designers, especially from back in the day, are coders, meaning they hard code, they write all of these characters and things. For those who don't know code, I'm just kind of breaking it down. They go into a system that you would never want to even look at, okay? If you're not even close to a techie, you don't even want to look at it. Even if you are a techie, you may still not want to look at it. And so you have to understand that that's a lot of custom work and a lot of time and detail goes into that. And then you have other options like drag and drop builders, and you have people like myself who help lay the foundation for you, who get everything up and running for you and pick, based off of what you've told them, pick something that aesthetically looks pleasing to what your business is, and basically does most of the groundwork for you. So then all you have to do is pop in once you get the website back and swap things out for your content. Now, of course, you can always pay extra for myself or somebody else to add the content for you. People will have different packages. It's kind of the wild, wild west. I'll just be open and honest with you. And that's actually why I wanted to get into web design back when I first started my business. And that was the entryway to all my other services that I offer. The reason I got into it was because I had an amazing mentor, still my mentor and still a great friend, who allowed me to basically be an intern and learn from the best all the things that you can around websites and SEO and all of these different factors that go in there. And I got to see the struggle that clients, like many of you, I'm sure, and you don't have to raise your hand, I already know, go through, and the things that you fear and the stress and all of the things that many of you, I'm sure, have experienced if you've even remotely gone through web design a little bit in terms of trying to get somebody to help you with your website. If you haven't, I am so glad, and I love them, the designer, the people that you worked for, and I'm giving them a huge shout out because, not everyone is like that. But when it comes to web design, it is the wild, wild west out here in the online world. And it's very hard to find people that you can trust, that you can like, that you can give your money to and actually get what you wanted back or more, right? Because we always want to surprise and delight our clients as a business owner. And so it's really hard to get what you need when you need it, right? And everyone runs their business differently. You could go to two different designers and they probably run their business completely different. Some people are going to have packages, some are not. Some are only going to do one thing and others are going to do the full-on suite of things, okay? For a real-life example, again, I'm going to share what I do here. It's not to sell my services. Of course, that is an option, but I just need to give you real talk and real examples because that's what you come to me for, and that's what I want to be able to provide to you. So when I first started, I thought, okay, I need to learn everything about web design. I need to learn all about WordPress. I need to learn about SEO, which, if you don't know what that means, it's search engine optimization, which basically means how you get found on Google. I thought I needed to learn all of these things. Even though web design is not my main passion and my main source of income and things that I really wanted, right? But I knew I needed to help people just like you, which is why I was like, you know what? I got to get in and I got to do this. I got to help people out because they need me. They need someone to come in, explain things in a way that they understand, and they need someone to provide them with the solutions that they need, not necessarily the ones that they think they need or the most expensive option that one provides. Like, no, even when I worked at Apple, that's not how I roll, right? And again, for those tuning in, this is a real talk, but for me, it's always about finding out what you need, you, the customer, the client, finding out what you need and being able to process that as quickly as I can and get you the solutions and point you in the right direction. Like, that's how it works. And so when it comes to jumping into the web business, I had to really just jump in, figure things out, and then I quickly realized, Ed, you don't need to know everything. Like, that's why other people specialize in other things like SEO. Yes, I know some SEO, and yes, I'll help with a little bit of that, but that's not my main gig. That's why I don't offer SEO services. You know, that question may come up in my services. Like, I have Ask the Expert, which is basically where you can ask me a quick question. I have, consulting packages and things like that. So it may come up and I'll give you guidance on that. And actually, I share that inside the Hey Ed Network. If you're not familiar with that, you can find that on the website. But it's not something that I want to sit here every day and say, you know what? I'm an SEO expert and I am going to help you get to number 1 on Google. No! That's not what I want to do. And while we're talking about that, I want to make sure to let you know that if anybody promises you, I'm going to say it, some people might be mad about this, but if anybody promises you number 1 on Google, if you work with them, run. Run as fast as you can. That is a red flag. You do not want to go with somebody that can guarantee you a spot that is not technically guaranteed. Think about it. It's just like Facebook's news feed. You can't guarantee that your post is going to be at the top of someone's news feed and is going to be seen by all the right people. No. So, like I said, this is real talk and I'm just going to be open and honest and hopefully it helps and hopefully some people don't get too mad, but it's one of those things that you have to be aware and it's hard because that's not your job, right? Your job is different. You have your business to run. You're just getting into online. You're just building these blocks, the website, the social media platforms, and you have so many things on your plate. Some of you have people that you have to manage. Some of you have crazy schedules to manage. Then you have your work life, your home life, all these things, which is why you hire someone to do certain things for you. Now, when it comes to web design, it can be expensive. I'm not going to lie. Many of you probably have experienced this. Most websites are going to cost you a couple $1,000s. Most. Especially if you have custom work done. Meaning adding a shopping cart. Really needing, I'm trying to break down the examples as simple as I can, but having a membership community on your website. Having support forums, which is basically like small groups on there. It can get very complex. So that's, the more complex, the more the price goes up. And so you have to realize that it's also a catch-22. I had this conversation with one of my clients recently. It's a catch-22, right? Because you want to have your business seen online because you want people to come to you and you want to make money. And in order to do that, you need to have a website. It's not the only requirement, but it is the main requirement because that's where you send people. and then you don't have enough money though to pay for it, right? How many, and you don't have to tell me in the comments if you don't want to, but how many of you feel like it's a catch-22? You're like, well, Ed, I know what you're saying is good, and yes, I need a website, or yes, I need to fix my website, but I don't have the funds right now. The budget is tight. I just can't do this. It's a catch-22. You can't move forward until you do it. So again, if you don't know how to do it, then you need to hire someone. Like I said, I'll show you where to go for learning more about what services I offer, as well as just free resources for you so that you can educate yourself. Because my whole goal is to make online business easy for you. And how I do that is I build the foundation for you for a website. That's one of the services I offer. And then I want to turn it over to you because I want to empower you to be able to manage it if you want to. I don't really manage websites. I do for a couple of clients, but I don't have that as an offering because that's not what I want to do. And that's not what most of my clients want to do. Most of my clients want to build their own website. They just don't have the time or the expertise. But if I do that for them and then show them how they can update it and save them money every month for little things like updating a photo, changing the text, adding a link, like all that stuff you can do. You just need to be shown how. And that's what I do. And that's what I want to empower you to do, because that's what I wanted to do when I started my business. I thought, I want to build my own website. I had no clue, but I wanted to do it. And thankfully, because I'm a techie, I was able to go through and do that. Of course, I had plenty of assistance from my mentor, but it's one of those things that you have to really understand that everyone's going to be different, and your actual goal is going to be different, right? You may not want to manage your own website, and that's fine. But you should have the option to choose, right? You should have the option to ask yourself, do I want to manage my own website, knowing how easy it can be? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, then that's cool. Then you go find somebody who you can like, trust, and is affordable for you, and have them manage it, and then you send them the content. That's totally doable. But I want you to have that choice. It's important for you to be able to choose whether or not you want to do that. Now, of course, if it's a complex website, that choice may be very limited. But I'm really sticking to the bare basics here, based off of what I build and what I do, because I know many of you, that's a good starting point, and that's really actually all you need. And then as you grow, you can always add to it later. So keep that in mind. I'm just looking at the comments real quick. Val says, I had an e-commerce site built for me, but everything that is put on it is done by me. Exactly. And e-commerce sites, like I mentioned, are very complex, can be, and are expensive. So that's the thing that you have to realize when it comes to websites is that, one, everyone's going to be different, the way they do things. And so just having a little bit of knowledge, though, takes you a long way. It's a game changer. Because many of you may not know. You're like, web design, websites, I don't know what this is. It starts with a W, WordPress. They all start with a W, but I have no idea what's next. So this person says they're an expert. I'm just going to go hire them. That happens. And I've had clients in the past who have had bad experiences with other designers and other people who have claimed to be a web expert, and they were afraid to invest in anybody else, including myself. And so what was my response? My response was, let's talk. Let's get on a call and let's talk. Let's have a few calls, because I want to make sure you're comfortable working with me. I am not out here trying to get the most money I can and forget everyone else. That's not my thing. I want to make sure that you're comfortable working with me, that we're a good fit, and that you get what you need. And so that's what you have to realize when you're working with anybody. Right now, we're just talking specifically websites. And also, when it comes to websites, again, you need something built, and yes, it's going to cost you money. Yes, you're going to have no budget, but guess what? You have a budget. You're going to make it work. Because if you have a business, you need one. And I will tell you, I've been there, done that, in terms of, I don't have the money and it's too expensive and all that. Listen, we have to do it. If you're serious about your business, you need to be serious about getting a website. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And again, you start small and you work your way up. And depending on who you go with, that starting small really can be everything you need and more. It's kind of like an iPhone. Right here, let me grab my phone. I was making sure that so it's like an iPhone, right? This thing can do as much as I need it to and more. But if I got it just to make a phone call, that's all I needed. All I needed was to make a phone call. So that's why I got an iPhone. But it's the gateway to everything else. Same thing with a website. You build a website on the right platform, I should say. That's why I don't build on Wix or Squarespace really, or any of the other ones. I only build on WordPress because it's like building a home from the ground up. I can build something for you, get it to you, and then you can take it and run with it. And you can add what are called plugins, which if you think about an iPhone or your Android, you have what's called apps. They're mini programs. That's what a plugin is. It's a mini program that you get from developers. So the same thing, just a different term. So that's what you want to make sure that you're aware of, is that what platform are you building it on or having it built on? Because you want to be able to grow with it. And it's not just to grow, but it's also how it can help save you money and time. We got to remember that it's not just about money that's coming out of our pocket. It's the time. Because I know a lot of you are going to say, or have said, right, because a lot of us have already been through the trials, is, well, I'll just figure it out. There's all these drag and drop things, and how hard can it be, right? I'll just go ahead and do it. So no worries. A couple hours later, maybe a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, 6 months later, hey, where's your website? Oh, how about a business card? It has my phone number on it. Okay, but what about the website you were working on? Yeah, about that. I started it, thought I could do it, and it's not working out. You just lost 6 months of precious time. You just lost 6 months of your clients, your potential clients. You just lost 6 months of trying to collect email addresses from your people. Like, you guys, it is January. It is your job to start off on the right foot. It is your job to get organized. That's actually the theme for this month's training inside HeyEd. Inside the HeyEd network, we're going to have a training coming up. Actually, you probably saw the event here on the Facebook page. We're going to have a training coming up where I'm going to go through and break that down and really help my Edsters get that organization going and to save time, but most importantly, the money as well. So you have to remember that it's not just about the money that you're popping out of your pocket or the bank account or the credit card or whatever. It's also about your time. And time includes that health level, right? That stress, that pressure, that weight that's on your shoulders. So you have to remember that it's not just black and white. It's not just time and money. It's everything else around that. And if you're serious about your business and you want to make money, you have to spend money. Now, I'm not saying that in a sleazy way where it's like, oh, well, if you spend $5,000 or $10,000 today, you'll make 6 figures tomorrow. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you need to make sure that you are doing your research, you're showing up, you're delivering, and you're engaging with your people. See all the nice cards I got? I'm so happy about that. Thank you, by the way. Holiday cards. So you have to remember that you have to filter these things, right? Don't just fall into these online schemes of, pay me $5,000, $10,000 and, you'll be making 6 figures, 7 figures, and this is the rich lifestyle, and you're going to be an Instagram superstar and all that stuff. No. Like, I don't know, maybe that, benefit of the doubt, maybe, but that's not how I roll. That's not what I do, and that's not what I invest in. So you have to make sure you do your research. You have to make sure that you ask yourself, okay, who are these people? What have they done? Do they have good reviews? Oh, you didn't think I was going to bring that up, huh? As you can see on Facebook, I have my reviews tab. If you have a Facebook business page, you should have that and encourage people to leave reviews. Also on Google, I have a Google business account. I have reviews over there. You should encourage that as well. Reviews are from real people. It tells the real story. Now, here's the thing about reviews that I want to make sure I mention, because you as the client need to understand this part, because this is an important part for you. Are you listening? For you as the client, it is so important. Let me repeat. It is so important for you as the client to provide us business owners with your open and honest feedback. Now, let me back up and say, what is feedback? Feedback is simply your strengths and your opportunities. Repeat it with me wherever you're at. Just say it out loud. Let people look at you. It's all good. Feedback is simply your strengths and your opportunities. That's it. It's not about talking trash. It's not, nitpicking and all that stuff. Sure, that may pop in there and you may read that, but you're going to glaze over that because you know that you're only looking for your strengths and your opportunities. That's it. So you as the client, the customer, have a job to deliver the correct information. If you're not happy with a service, talk about it. I would first start with the actual business owner and communicate with them one-on-one to see how they might be able to resolve it, because maybe they don't know what's going on. Benefit of the doubt. They didn't know that wasn't up to the standards you were looking for. They didn't know X, Y, Z. So always start there first before, jumping over to Yelp or Facebook or whatever and dropping a review, because maybe there was a miscommunication. Remember, I started this live with having open communication. It's the biggest part. So if that doesn't resolve it and it still leaves you feeling, then what you need to do is help them by leaving a review. You got to give them that feedback publicly. It can be positive, it can be not so positive, and that's fine, but it has to be real and not just out of revenge or spite or whatever. It has to be real. So leave a real review. Tell people what you liked and what maybe could have been improved. Remember, strengths and opportunities. Now, when you leave those reviews, I want you to remember this, because what I'm about to tell you is also going to be reflecting on you, because you're a business owner too. So let's take a little sip here while I check the comments real quick. Lindsay says, how does that quote go? Money, time, happiness. You can only have 2, not 3. So true for websites until you know what you're doing. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Feedback is simply your strengths and your opportunities. Thank you, Mickey. When in doubt, just ask Ed. Can't really see it, but boom. The light. All right. So you as the customer, the client, have left a review on the business owner's page, whether it's the Facebook website, Google, Yelp, doesn't matter. Now, remember, when you leave that review, your name and profile are attached to it. Now, I'm not saying this to scare you, because you're like, oh, If I said something bad about that business owner, they're going to hate me for life, and I don't want people to be mad at me. Listen, that is not something that you need to worry about. If they have issues with you because of the honest review that you left, then they need to check in with themselves. They need to check in with their business and ask themselves, is this really what I want to be doing? Because if you left an open, honest review to help the business owner and to help other people who are looking at that person or that company to work with, that's like, you need to be open and honest. And when it's real, again, feedback is strengths and opportunities. So that business owner would look at it and say, you know what? I can see where I can improve on that. That was a great point. I respect that. That's how it should go. But if you don't look at feedback in that way, and you look at it as, I'm just going to use Mickey as an example because I see the last comment there, and she commented about the feedback. Let's say Mickey left me a review saying, you know, Ed, Ed is a great guy to work with, but you know, there's something about the way he wrote these emails that just didn't sit well with me, and I tried to communicate, but it didn't work out well. Well, Mickey, we are not friends. I can't believe, I thought we were better than this. Like, what is wrong with you? Of course, I'm being a little dramatic, and that's not how Mickey and I roll, because we're good. But it's one of those things that I hope that point gets across, that you have to understand, and of course, hang tight. You have to understand that it's one of those things that feedback is so important for everyone involved. The customer, the business owner, and the potential customers. Those three things, three people, it's so important, which is why you should always be redirecting conversations. If people email you, text you, call you, Facebook message you, put it on your Facebook page, but not in a review section, comments, ask them, thank them, and then ask them, hey, would you mind sharing that over here on my reviews page, or over here on my Facebook, my Google reviews, over here on Yelp? Like, provide them with the link. They need to be told, / asked, I should say. It's one of those things that it's so important because we don't talk about that enough, right? We don't have those real conversations. If you have a bad experience with someone, it's a 50-50 chance whether or not you're going to publicly share that. And because you may not want to hurt their feelings. And you may think, oh, maybe it was just me. And you never know, right? But that's why you have to talk about it. And you have to understand that. And maybe not write the review in the heat of the moment. Cool off, reevaluate everything, and then write the review. Like, do what you need to do. But understand that the reviews are important. That feedback is so important. And when you publicly list a review, you have to remember that as the customer, you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward, that you are providing the strengths and the opportunities. Because if you go in and say, you know what, this guy Ed, he thinks he's something else. I can't believe it. I got on a phone call with him and he actually asked me what I wanted, and I told him, I don't know, and then he provided me with exactly what I needed, but I still didn't like being asked, what do I think I need? Because I called him. Well, one, hopefully that would never happen, right? But two, if you're writing that comment, remember, other people see that. So Mickey maybe, or Lindsay will pop on and look at that and be like, oh, well that Dave guy sure was a little, I don't know, a little odd there. And then that makes you look bad, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're providing good feedback. It doesn't have to be positive. It just has to be detailed. Strengths and opportunities. That's it. So I'm kind of rambling, so hopefully that makes sense. And I actually, this live was not scheduled today. I have so much work that I should be doing, but it keeps coming up, so I wanted to mention it. So I think I covered what I wanted to. I'm going to show you a resource here. You can get to it from my main site here, but I'm going to show it to you because I want you to know where to go for resources because it's important. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so my main site will link you to here, but this is all dedicated to building websites, okay? builtforyouwebsites.com. Yes, it has website services. We'll look at that real quick, but I want to show you, stay tuned, don't leave, because I'm going to show you where you can go for resources for yourself. So stay with me. So just so you're aware, nearly 30% of small businesses do not have a website. Is that crazy? Nearly 30% of small businesses do not have a website. I will tell you, I just went to looking for a coffee shop, a local coffee shop. I went looking for their website. I found their Facebook business page, which did not, by the way, have enough info on it regarding hours and what they offer. And I looked for their business page, their website. Guess what? Not there. They didn't have a website. And if they do, I can't find it on Google, and I can't find it in their About page on their Facebook business page. Guess who did not go to that coffee shop? Guess who lost out on coffee, breakfast, and then some? That coffee shop. So understand that it applies to every business, not just big businesses, every business. If you want to get seen, that's what needs to happen. Now, this is I'm going to point these out because I want to educate you on what these are because they're fairly new, and then go from there with the resources that I want to share with you. So ask the expert. That's where you can ask me a quick question. Ed, I got this going on. I'm not sure where to go next. Can you just point me in the right direction? I'm paying for someone to design this. Is this typical? Is this what happens? I don't know. You just need to ask an expert. So there's that. If you're just getting started and you want assistance with creating a domain name, let's talk. That's what I love to do. I have exercises that will help with that. Website reviews. That means, do you have a website? Has it been reviewed by an expert before? If not, let's get that going. I can look at the user experience and show you where your strengths and opportunities are. This is for your DIYers. This is a course that I built, walking you through setting up a website. Again, if you are not a techie though, and that's not your world, just hire me to help you. I'm basically going to put down the whole website for you based off of what you tell me, and then show you or hand it over to you and show you how to edit it, how to swap out photos, how to change the text, how to move the button around. I'm not going to just drop you. I provide you with actual support documentations, videos, and such. And then if you're a Hey Ed member, you're part of the Hey Ed network, that's where I go. That's where you go when you have questions. And that's where I have support tutorials for you as well. So understand that that's all that you have there. Now, for those of you who are curious about support, if you go over to my contact page here, I actually have some frequently asked questions. This is new. I haven't had this before, and it's on both of my sites here. But here are some common questions I get, and I'm sure I'll add to them. How does it work? Why do I need a website? This is my favorite. Is my Facebook business page enough? The answer is no. And you can see here. And then I have good to know things. So understand that this is not just to sell. This is also to help you find things on your own should you need it. So again, it's all about knowing who you can trust, who makes you feel comfortable. Can you have a conversation with them? Are they able to engage with you? They can show up, they can somewhat deliver, but can they engage with you? Are they going to connect with you? So you have to understand that. And then understand that you're going to tell yourself and that person that you're trying to work with or that wants to work with you, you're going to tell yourself and them, I can't afford this. But what you need to do is pause, think about it, go through the numbers, and ask yourself, is $1,000, $1,500 really going to break the bank? That I'm going off of prices that my website builds start at $1,000. But is that going to really break the bank in terms of, yes, you have to put down, we'll just go with the basics, $1,000, and that is a lot of money, I'm not going to lie. But is that going to help you create money? Because are you going to sell your services that are a couple hundred, a couple thousand? Like, you have to write those things down. You guys, listen, I'm not going to show you the numbers, but on this paper, quick thing, I actually have I don't want to give things away, so an opportunity came up, and I have to run the numbers. Because while many may say, yeah, that's a great opportunity, let me pop in and do that, what I do is I may think that, but then I tell myself, whoa. Bring it back, Ed. Let's look at this. Let's write everything down. What's the time commitment for me personally? What's the cost? How is that compared to what I do and need and pay for? So I'm kind of like separating myself and the business. And then I go through and I write down, this is already the first page. I literally have the number of hours, how much I would make versus how many hours, not only a day, but I write down the week and I write down the month. Because I need to know all that. It's just like when you look at your finances for your business. You don't just look at a sale today, because if you did, you might be pretty depressed. Be like, oh, I didn't sell anything today. I did all the things I was supposed to. I sent the email. I called the client. I did a post. I went live. I went on my stories. I did all these things, and I didn't make any money today. Well, guess what? It doesn't actually happen that way. Yeah, Lindsay says, Ed services are tax deductible. Boom. There you go. I love that. Thanks. So you have to remember that it's not just about today. It's about long term. And you have to factor everything in. And that's what I always tell you if you followed me and if you're new. I always say, don't worry about the sale today. Worry about establishing the relationship and growing it over time. That's what you need to worry about. Because if you just worry about the sale today, you know what? I'll tell you, when I used to work at Apple, I had people, other specialists, we called them, or experts in my case, who focused on sell. That day, the minute we opened the door, they rushed to every customer and they were trying to get the most money they could in that day. Now, mind you, Apple is not on commission, so it actually doesn't really matter. But of course, there's numbers and things for the back end. But they would always rush. I mean, literally, some would run to the next customer in hopes that they would buy the most expensive device and the most expensive accessories and be able to get out there and say, guess what? I just got $1,000 sale. I got $5,000. I got $10,000. Okay, cool. I mean, this is my response. All right, cool. But how was the interaction? How was the customer? Is that what they needed? And I would always tell them, don't worry about the sale today. Worry about establishing that relationship. Because when you do, you are connected more with your customers. They come back to you. They want to work with you. And it doesn't matter what you offer because they know they can trust you. They know that when they put their money down on you, you are going to deliver. So that's what you have to understand. And I will tell you that when you look at numbers, and I'll just keep on that Apple example because it gives you real life example. When you look at the numbers, sure, that day they might have been number one. However, when you look at the long term, and this is when I left, this is actually the real numbers. I was 1.7 million for the year. The next person wasn't even close to $1 million. Again, that's long term. You have to look at that. And remind you, it wasn't every day that I was number one for sales. There was lots of days where I was not even in the top 5. But I had the best interactions with my customers. I helped my teammates, and I educated people. That pays off. It may not pay off today, but it will pay off. So that's why I do all of this. That's why I do this episode, or why I'm doing this episode, and why I'm saying you have to do your research, and you have to look at things and ask yourself before you automatically say no or yes. Let's not forget, we may automatically say yes. We don't want to do that either. Either option, yes or no, you have to back up and ask yourself, okay, what else is here? What else do I need to know about? And if you're not sure, ask. Just ask. That is why I do this. This is why I'm in business. This is why I have the Hey Ed Network. Because I wanted something affordable for people to not only learn, because this is what I do inside there. I teach every day, and we have our monthly trainings and our weekly calls. But it's a place for you to go when you need it, to get what you need, and to keep things moving, and to have a supportive network. So again, you have to go with people that are going to be there for you and that are invested in you just as much as you're invested in them. So I hope that this was helpful. Even if you're watching the replay, I could go on and on. You guys can see how passionate I am. But I do have to get to work on some other things before my next call. I really hope that this helped. And, just keep the work up. That's not really the way I wanted to say it, but that's how the brain connected. Keep up the good work. Like, you can only do as much as you can. Break things down. If you can't afford something, see what free resources they have. Just don't be about the free all the time. Because I love a good deal too, and I love me some free stuff too, but we have to understand that we got to bite the bullet sometimes, and we just have to pay for something. As long as we've done our research and can figure out that, okay, it's going to work and it's going to take us to the next level. And those are the conversations I've been having with potential clients as well as current clients, not just about websites, but about services they offer and, all kinds of different things. So understand that you're not alone. We all go through these trials. I have as well. I shared those examples, and we learn from each other and we talk about it. And we don't have to talk about it necessarily publicly, like posting a Facebook post that's public and say, gosh, I just had the worst conversation with my web designer and they're just a pain to deal with. Not really good look for you or for them, right? So maybe have that conversation with select people or connect with that designer just to make sure it wasn't you or them or the miscommunication. It's like, oh, let me just check. Bullet points are key, you guys. Bullet points are key. So anyway, I can keep going and going. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to tune in, even if it was only for a few seconds or the whole time. I thank you. If you need anything, the Facebook page here, it has what you need. It connects you to my website. Boom, right there. So have a great day, okay, guys? Take care, and we'll talk soon.